Okay, so let's look at some major parts of this brain now that I have the meninges off. So when we're looking at the brain, we have the largest part of the brain, which is called the cerebrum. So this is all cerebrum. This is the cerebral surfaces, and you can see where it's divided into the right hemisphere and the left hemisphere by the longitudinal fissure. The second largest structure is this found at the base of the cerebrum, which is the cerebellum. And then hooked down here at the very bottom, this is the spinal cord that is holding my fingers. And then from here to here is the brainstem, and then we have other structures. This is the pituitary gland that actually fell off, so that pituitary gland is on the ventral surface of the brain. Let me turn it back over to the dorsal surface and show you a couple of structures. If I pull down on the cerebellum and I peep inside between, this is deep, I see a structure that's called the corpora quadragemina. Why quadragemina? Because there are four parts, the two superior colliculi and the two inferior colliculi. It almost looks like a little booty mooning you there. So the upper two structures, superior colliculi, inferior colliculi, the corpora quadragemina. Now if I take my thumb and I pull back on the corpora quadragemina, you see another little structure up there that appears, and that would be the pineal or pineal gland. It is an endocrine gland that releases melatonin to set up your biological clock, your sleeping and your waking cycles. So let's go back to the ventral view of the brain, and let me show you the structures that you're responsible for there. Starting at the bottom, let me put my pituitary back on. Starting at the bottom, I have my spinal cord, my medulla, my pons. I pick up the pituitary gland, and I see the midbrain. This little mound is the mammillary body. The whole is actually the remnant of a stalk that was there that held the pituitary gland on. It's called the infundibulum. Above the pituitary gland, there should be a crossing or an X-like structure. It's a crossing of the optic nerves. It's called the optic chiasma. And then this one doesn't have very good ones, but it's an olfactory tract, and there should have been a bulb at the top of it, but it's degraded, so you can't really see the bulb that well, but the olfactory tract and the bulb. So let me see if I can make that just a little bit clearer for you by adding some color to it. So we're going to start down here. This is the spinal cord. Then above the spinal cord is the medulla. Above the medulla is the pons. Above the pons is the midbrain. Above the midbrain is the mammillary body. This is the mammillary body. The whole that once was a stalk is the infundibulum. Above the infundibulum is the optic chiasma. And then at the very top you have the olfactory tract and bulb on either side.